And you've articulated the importance of the environment to all Coloradans, or almost all Coloradans anyway. Tell me what your priorities are.
Yeah, I think that, and I do actually believe it is a pretty shared interest among all Coloradans. This is one of those things where you can, I think, bring folks together from both sides, because people love the outdoors, whether it's to ride a motorcycle in or go fishing in, that's common. So I think we've come out with a plan to say one of the key drivers on this is making sure that we move towards a more and more aggressive renewable energy portfolio. So our plan is to say we want to move the state long-term to 100% renewable energy electric grid by 2040. This has the benefit, when we talk about economic development, of growing 70,000 jobs over those next 25 years, drops our utility rates if folks are paying less on their bills, and drops healthcare costs actually long-term. So I think that is a really important first step. Other things that matter a lot are, of course, protecting public lands across the state, making sure that we don't sell or lease off those public lands that really are American birthright here in Colorado. And so I think that's been a really important step. And then obviously making sure that when we strike the balance between oil and gas and between the environment, that we're doing things like making sure we're keeping our strong methane capture rules, making sure we're keeping the Paris Climate Agreement, making sure that we're getting zero leakage out of pipelines so you don't have the kind of risks you've seen even in places like Firestone and others. So I think there's a number of things to be done, but those are the bucket of issues that we're focusing on right now.
In regard to the oil and gas industry, what changes in terms of regulatory improvements do you feel need to be made?
Yeah, I think the first step is obviously let's set a long-term goal to get towards renewables on the electric grid. In the short term, it's what are the things we're going to do to make sure we have an appropriate balance of health and safety along with development. And I had a dinner in Firestone about a week or two ago with the families down the road from where that home exploded. And what they know is, right, there are 800 to 1,000 more of those orphan wells around the state that have been either cut or they have been abandoned, and they are potential safety risks. And so I think what we've said is, yes, you ought not to drill in places that are environmentally sensitive, like the Thompson Divide. You ought not to drill into places that are ecologically unstable, like Oklahoma, where you're drilling into sandstone and you get earthquakes. And I think we're going to have to push back setbacks from homes and schools so that you have a little broader buffer of public safety. But that most importantly, we got to attend to these orphan wells and try to get them plugged and abandoned or even removed, so you don't have the risks of more and more folks that could have homes built on top of places that have gas leaks in them. So I think those are the really short-term protections that are key on the way to a longer-term, more renewable energy future.